My name's Delaney, and I have the honor of meeting some pretty cool people. These are the entrepreneurs, the artists, the creatives, the game changers that are making a positive impact in the people that they meet. And I'm a firm believer that the people that you meet can get you anywhere you want to go. And this show is my way of sharing them with you. It's my way of also helping you be cool people. Hey there, Eli here, and today I want to talk to you about unlearning, or what we call JIT learning. JIT, as in just in time. We live in this world right now where people are overwhelmed by so much information. You know, we had the information era has now gotten way past that. Information is everywhere. We are getting bombarded by so many different options and so much wisdom and so much knowledge. With the rise of AI, it goes to the point where we have everything we need at our fingertips, yet we still try to consume everything when all it's doing is overwhelming us. How many times do you find somebody, you have a conversation and they're just like full of useless information? You might be that person. You know, I've always tried to really focus on the stuff that is the most important things. And there's a whole bunch of stuff that I don't remember. I am not great at actually data consumption. I know it's there, it's in my head, and I can recall the principle behind it. But if you were going to ask me to quote something out of a book or something like that, absolutely cannot do it. And there's been two sides to that. Number one is it would be kind of cool to know that information. But the second thing is I realize I don't need to know all that information. What I need is the bullet points of why that's important. And there's a lot of stuff that's not important. And so our brains need to know how to separate those two things, especially in today's era. Because right now we are at this era of so much stuff going on that our brains can't keep up with it. And so I'm going to share with you kind of an example of this for myself. I am in the process right now of writing my next book, and which has been a long time coming. My last book was written over 10 years ago. And I'm sitting there thinking about, okay, what's it going to be? What are the chapters going to be? Blah, 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 the formatting, all the different things. And I stopped and I was like, wait a minute. What I need to do is get what I need to say out of my head, get it into a Google Doc, and don't think about all that other stuff. People are asking me, so how are you publishing it? And what are you doing here? And did you get your ISBN numbers and all these other things? At one point, I actually had a little bit of a side distraction. And I said, oh yeah, I got to get some ISBN numbers. So I did the research and I went and did that. And I realized I didn't even really need to buy those yet. To be perfectly honest, I hadn't even decided if I was self-publishing it or using somebody else to publish it, which would have been a deciding factor on that thing. But I jumped the gun because I got distracted and thought about all the shiny things that I need to have, when all I need to do is just sit down and write the silly thing. And so this is what we need to get better at. This is something that we as a society have gotten really bad about. We're just taking in all this stuff. And when we don't need all that stuff. And then that's how everybody wonders why we're so anxious. It's because we have all these things rolling around in our heads. It's like a pinball machine. Have you ever sat there and played a pinball machine where balls bounce back and forth, and then all of a sudden you hit one thing and you got like 4 different balls bouncing around all at once? It's very intense. And our brains can't handle it most of the time. And so what I did for my book was I said, okay, I'm not thinking about who I'm publishing it with. I'm not worrying about the design of it. I'm not worrying about the specific size quite yet. Had an idea where I wanted to go, but I was like, I'm not going to worry about that. All these other pieces, put them on the back burner. And what I'm focusing on is just getting the thing written. Now, at this point, guess what? I got the first draft done. Well, that is the first draft. I need to go back and edit. I need to massage it. I need to figure out. I might take stories from chapter 3 and put it in chapter 7. I don't know. You know, I got to figure that out. But I still don't need to worry about the publishing side yet because it's nowhere ready. And so it goes back to something that I learned from my first mentor in the marketing world, Armand Morin. And he taught me the principles of next logical step. No matter what you do, you always need to think about your next logical step. So as a great example, he would go on stage, he'd be in front of 300 people. The first time I heard this, he's in front of like 300 people. And he was like, how many of you want me to tell you how to get 10,000 visitors to your website every month? And of course, everybody in the room raises their hand. And he just kind of snickers for a second. He's like, all right, so what I want you to do, put your hand down if you currently do not have a website. And there was only about 10% of the room with their hands still raised. He's like, okay, put your hands down. All of you that put your hand down there because you don't have a website, doesn't matter how, if I tell you and show you the best thing in the world to get 10,000 visitors to your website, if you don't have a silly website. That's not the next logical step. You're thinking out of order. If you want to get 10,000 visitors to a website, you need to have a website first. Focus on that first, then go to the next step. And that was his story. That was his analogy with it. For me, the book is it was a really big one for me to go through that same process, because I'm sitting there, okay, I'm working on writing the book and I need, I got my outline. So then I'm going to work on the chapters, but then I'm sitting there, okay, I need to start thinking about what the cover's going to look like and what format it's going to be in and who's going to publish it and all these other things. And I stopped and I was like, no, wait a minute. You don't need all of that stuff. Right now, all you need to do is focusing on writing a chapter and then write the next chapter. The next logical step is write the next chapter. And I did that until I got all 10 chapters done. Now I'm going to go back and clean it. I'm going to edit all up. Once that is finished, now I'm going to go on to the next step. As we're thinking about our day-to-day life, what we're doing in our business, in our personal life, any of that kind of stuff. But business, it's super, super critical, because I have people that are talking about like 500 different things. I got an email this morning from somebody that she was talking about all this list of things that she needs to do. And she doesn't even have step one yet. And it's like, okay, you got your list. That's fine. But don't think about 9 out of 10 of these things. Think about the one. The one is the thing that's important. And here's the thing with this. I mentioned the reticular activating system, and I talked about this on an episode before, but your RAS helps you. It's there to help you get results. It's there to help you find the path of where you need to go. And all it's doing is it's looking for top of mind awareness. Well, if your top of mind awareness, your top of mind is thinking about 10 different things, it doesn't know which direction to go. And if you ever have those times where like you sit down at your computer to work and you just don't know where to start, that's why. So one of the things that I'm very big on encouraging my clients to do this. I am working even better on going back to basics and doing this more myself, being much more intentional with it, is if you have a project and you've got, 10 steps, that's fine. Write them all down, but put them in some place that's like a backup thing you're not going to look at every day. And then you just take the one thing and say, okay, what do I need to do to finish this one thing? That's it. Don't think about anything else. When you get that one thing done, then you move on to the second one. Take it one step at a time. Next logical step. Because when you do that, it brings up that top of mind. You start thinking about, okay, what do I need to do to solve this problem? Or what do I need to do to complete this thing? When people ask you the question, how can I help you? Top of mind. What are you thinking about? It's like, you know what? Actually, I need somebody to help me do blah, 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 whatever that is. So I'm a big advocate for just-in-time learning. There are so many different things we're doing, especially so many of us that are entrepreneurs. We're in business, especially solopreneurs. So we're figuring out, okay, I need to do LinkedIn outreach, and I need to do YouTube videos, and I need to create a faceless channel, and I need to do podcasts. I need to be a guest on podcasts, and I need to do this, and I need to do that. And that list just grows and grows and grows and grows. Next thing you know, you're overwhelmed. And you're sitting there spinning because you don't know which direction to go. I used to use an example of a dog, one of my dogs that I had, sadly passed away several years ago, Dante. And it used to be so much fun. The game that I used to have with him is we had this big bag of tennis balls, and he loved the ball, right? But I would take like 5 or 6 of them, and I would toss one out. Then I'd toss another one out, toss another one out. And he got to the point, he didn't know which direction to go because there's so many new balls. He'd go and grab one, and he'd turn around, see one at the point of his or corner of his eye, and he'd drop it and jump over to the other one. Then he'd remember the other one. And he'd come back to that one, he'd drop it and pick up the other one. Then he'd see another one off to the side. And it would just overwhelm him because he didn't know which one to pick up because he wanted them all. Well, us humans are very much like that. And you've got to train yourself to stop doing that. Make your list. What is the thing that's going to make the most impact for me today? What's the project that I'm working on, and what's step 1? That's it. Work on step 1 and unlearn everything else. Get it out of your head. Don't go to YouTube watching videos. Don't sign up for another course. Don't do any of that kind of stuff. Just focus on that one thing. Get great at it. Get it in place. Get it done. Get it out of the way. Then you move on to the next thing. Just like with me, I made more progress by just stopping and putting all that other stuff out of the way related to my book. Just focus on the one thing, which was getting the book done. It's all written. That's the hardest part. Rest of it's going to be much easier. Rest of it will go pretty quick. But if I spent all that time focusing on those other things, the book still wouldn't be written. So what's your one thing? What's that one thing you should be working on today, that you should be focusing on today? That is going to be that step to get you where you want to go. And if you need to, open up an empty Google Doc, write down all the other stuff, and then close it. Save it someplace you'll find it. Don't open it again until the one thing is done. All this does is give you that ultra focus to keep taking steps forward and get away from the overwhelm of all the different options. The number of options we have are unlimited. What's the quote? I think it's, you can have anything you want, you just can't have everything you want. It's a pretty clear way to say it. If you understand the principle behind that, it's real simple. It's like we don't have the time to do everything. But we can do any of the things, we just have to pick which one. Well, if you're looking at accomplishing a big goal, whether that be business or personal, either or, you have to start with one step. Get the one thing down first. Hopefully that was helpful. Let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts, ideas, anything like that on that. My goal with any of this kind of stuff is that it gives you something to think about and puts you in the right path that helps give you some clarity. That's all I'm after with that. Get out there. Have an awesome week. Look forward to talking to you later. If there's anything I can help you with, reach out and let me know. Take care. And that wraps up another Meet Cool People show. Now, if you like what you heard, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, or review so I can help introduce these amazing cool people to even more amazing cool people. And just remember, meeting cool people is just the beginning. You need to have a system in place to follow up with the amazing people that you meet. This is exactly what we do for our clients. Now, if you'd like to see if my team and I can help you, go to convertmoreclientsnow.com and check out the case study video to see exactly how we're helping our clients turn casual connections into cash clients for life. Again, go to convertmoreclientsnow.com and see how we can work together to turn you into a follow-up rock star.